Welcome to the webinar, Introduction to Concur Expense Reporting. The new site for travel and expense is www.concursolutions.com. Your username is your email address. The password is welcome1 in lowercase letters. Log in. This is your home page. Let's open the profile page. There are a few settings in the profile that will help you streamline your expense reporting. I will show you them. Don't worry about remembering each step right now. If you are participating in a live demonstration, the facilitator will help you through the setup. If you're watching the video demo only, then just stop and start the video as many times as you need and take a few notes about the setup. You may recognize parts of this profile page. It is the same as the travel profile most people already have set up. This is where you can change your password in Concur. It works like most other sites. You can also add a password hint. Make the changes and click Submit. When you verify your email address in Concur, they are able to associate that email address with your account. So you can email Concur receipts and they will automatically show up in your receipt store. You can also add other email addresses here and associate them with your Concur. The address you send receipts to is receipts@concur.com. You can set up an expense delegate, someone who can create, edit, and submit expense reports on your behalf, such as an administrator. All attendees at a meal you wish to expense must be listed. If you set up a favorites list, then reporting will be much faster later on. Attendees can be in 3 categories. Someone could be a business guest, an employee, or the special category for yourself, this employee. You can add business guests or other employees on this page. However, to add yourself as this employee, you must go to Advanced Search. Search your name under Advanced Search, then select this employee. Taking a few moments to set up your profile will save you time later. Now that we are finished setting up your profile, let's go back to the home page. Click on Concur. Now that we are finished setting up our profile, let's go back to the home page and start our expense report. The quickest way to start a new expense report is on the quick taskbar. Simply click plus Start a Report. This is the header page of your new expense report. Name your report something you will be able to search later if you need to, like Managers Conference, June 2014. State the purpose, new printer for the office, or business lunch with new client. The items marked with a red bar are required. Some of the fields are pre-populated for you, such as your division and department. Those default to your home. If you have an expense to charge to another division or department, simply use the drop-down box and select what you need. Now with Concur, the user has the ability to decide which department an item should be charged. As we all know, these expenses drive P&L, so be careful to provide accurate information. When you are finished, click Next. Now we can begin to add expenses to your expense report. Here are your available expenses. Remember, it usually takes a few days for an item to arrive. Always wait for your expense to arrive before you attach it to a report. To add an expense to an expense report, click on the items in your available expenses from your company credit card that belong to this report. Click Move. Expenses now appear on your expense report. To add an out-of-pocket expense, click New Expense and fill in the requested information. Let's look at some of the information you'll be asked about expenses. The first section is expense type. There are 6 categories of expense types. The categories are travel, meals, office expenses, communications, employee and client relations, and the procurement card and other. Most of these are fairly easy to understand. However, let's take a closer look at meals. There are meals as an individual or as a group. So if you eat by yourself, that's an individual meal. If you paid for someone else's meal with you, then that's a group meal. If you had a meal with others while traveling, that would be a group travel meal. If you had a meal with others while not on the road, that would be a group non-travel meal. Per diem meals are divided between hail techs and non-hail techs. If you ever have an expense on your company credit card that you are supposed to pay for yourself, select non-reimbursable personal expense. The expense type selected determines where an expense hits your P&L, and that's important for everyone. If you have further questions, please review the handout on expense types. Now let's look at how we can attach receipts to our expense items. Open the expense item by clicking on it. Click on Attach Receipt. A window will pop up showing you your receipt store. How do receipts get into your receipt store? There are 3 ways. You can email them to Concur from your verified email address, or you can take a picture with your phone from Mobile Concur. Just make sure the images are legible. You can also scan them to your computer and attach them to an expense item. Concur is so efficient that many of your travel receipts show up automatically. Detailed directions are in the work instructions. Just select a receipt and attach. If you lose your receipt, write out the information on a piece of paper with the words "Lost Receipt" and take a picture or scan it. Use this like a receipt. This should be a rare occurrence. All hotel receipts must be itemized. Hotel bills often include more than just the room charge. They sometimes include parking, internet fees, meals, and of course, taxes. Click on Itemize. Add the requested information. If a charge appears daily, like the internet or parking, add it here under Additional Charges. If a charge is a one-time expense, such as a meal, add it under Additional Itemizations. Click Save. Notice the icons on your expense report. If you see a red exclamation point or a yellow exception icon, this means the items have exceptions that must be resolved before you can submit the report. If you click on an expense item, a box will appear telling you what you need to do. In this example, we need to attach a receipt and itemizations for a hotel expense. The blue travel icons let you know that the expense was travel booked through Concur. If you hover over the blue receipt icon, an image of the receipt will appear. For more information about icons, please check out the work instructions. When you are finished adding expenses to your report and have resolved all the exceptions, click Submit. The report will go to your approver for approval. A pop-up box will appear with the totals due to your credit card and the totals that should be paid to you for out-of-pocket expenses. Make sure these are correct. If they are not correct, you can recall the report. This can only be done on the web, not the mobile version. If you are an approver, you have important responsibilities. First, when you receive a report, make sure all the items seem reasonable. Verify the receipts are legible and match the amount of the item. Secondly, make sure the expenses are in line with our company's travel policy. For instance, all flights should be coach, not first class. There should be no surcharges from the car rental company for fuel. Group meals should have at least 2 attendees. Review the expense types. Make sure the best category is selected. If you have any questions, contact the person who submitted the report and ask them. If something seems definitely wrong, send the report back to the person. There is a comment box when you send a report back. Fill in that box with your comments about the report so that the person knows what he or she needs to do. Please make minimal exceptions to our company travel policy. Concur Mobile works similarly to the web, but first you must sign into the web before using the app. Download Concur Mobile from the App Store. It is free. The app can do almost anything the web version can do. Most people use the camera to take pictures of receipts. Just be certain the receipts are legible. Initially, please keep all your receipts until your expense report is paid. There will be another video showing you how to use Concur Mobile. Thanks for listening to the video. I hope you learned a bit about how Concur works. The best way to learn is by doing, so log on to Concur and give it a try. You can replay the video if you need to. Also, there are written work instructions available for using Concur and Concur Mobile. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call.